Hello and welcome to today's webinar discussion on the transformation of IoT and specifically the role of hyperscalers in the rise of the Internet of Things. My name's Jeremy Cowan. I'm co-founder of the news portal IoT-now.com, and it's my pleasure to be your moderator today. Thank you for joining us around the world. I'm delighted to say IoT Now is bringing you this webinar with our partner, international communications enabler, BICS. Now, I'm sure you know the number of connected Internet of Things devices is growing fast. No prizes for that, albeit after a slower than predicted start in the last decade. In fact, the number of connected IoT devices is now expected by some analysts to reach 17 billion by 2030. So clearly, there is immense value in the data the devices carry. But one big challenge remains. How can all these large data sets be combined and interpreted effectively? Well, IoT connectivity providers have the global infrastructure, the experience, and the technical expertise to extract the maximum value out of IoT devices and data. Their entry into the IoT ecosystem has not only brought greater flexibility and security, it has also boosted the growth of the industry. So today, I'm delighted to welcome Gabriel Salvate, who is Business Development Director for IoT at BICS, to discuss the current IoT environment. He's also going to show how hyperscalers have impacted and will continue to impact the industry's future, in particular through security and application enablement for connected devices. So it's high time to introduce you to him. He is ready and waiting to take your questions at the end. And I'm pleased to say, on behalf of BICS, he's here as part of our sponsors today. Gabriel is an industrial engineer. He holds an executive MBA and a Master of Science degree in Industry 4.0. And he has over 12 years experience in managing and developing global projects. Gabriel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you very much, all of you that are attending this webinar today. It's going to be a pleasure to spend the next 1 hour with all of you covering so exciting topics like the transformation of IoT and how hyperscalers and IoT connectivity providers should work together, bring value to the end customers. Because in the end of the day, this is what we need to achieve as a supplier.
Absolutely right. Now, please don't forget, everyone, this event is being recorded and you can stream it from tomorrow at IoT-now.com. Now, Gabriel's not the only one answering questions today. In a moment, we're going to ask you a question in the first of 2 live polls, and then we'll see the results coming in immediately after. But please remember, to see those results, you have to answer the question yourself. You won't see the results otherwise. So please take part. The poll answers are entirely confidential. And later, when we've heard from our speaker, I'm going to put your questions to him. So you can start sending me your questions right now, and we'll discuss as many as time allows. To send your questions, just go to the bottom of your black screen and tap on More, and you'll find the questions window there. You can type your questions in and send them to me. So we look forward to hearing from you anytime during this webinar. Okay, let's go to the first poll. And the poll question is this. We want to understand who we're talking to, really. What is your company's background? Are you a solution provider, a system integrator, connectivity provider, a device OEM, a chipset and module provider, a media or analyst, or something other? So when you've ticked the appropriate answer, please submit your vote, and we'll start to assess who it is going to be on the call today, and you'll be seeing the results coming in. Already, we're starting to see a preponderance of connectivity providers and solution providers. So very closely allied with other, which is a bit of a catch-all, but we've tried to break this down as far as possible. Gabriel, is this sort of in line with your expectation of who we might be interesting today in such a discussion around hyperscalers and IoT?
Absolutely, Jeremy. I can see we have a lot of solution providers. We have some colleagues from the connectivity market, some system integrators, which for sure it's a good audience.
Yeah, really good. Okay, so that's our audience today. Thank you so much. Those results are available to you, and they will continue to evolve as people continue to answer. We've had a good number of replies in already, but any late arrivals, please submit your answer there. We've got plenty to get through, so I'm going to hand straight over to you, Gabriel. Now, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So guys, today morning I was, as every day, reading some news about the market. So the first slide is just a quick introduction about myself. As Jeremy said, I've been working this market for many years. So the reason of this discussion is to cover, as I said, how IoT players and hyperscalers should work together. So I will jump quickly. But as I was saying today morning, I was reading some news about the markets and predictions and etc. And one statement caught my attention. And I will read quickly this statement before I start talking. But the statement was like, it will be widely accepted that 5G has failed to result in an uplift of ARPU, and cellular IoT has been so disappointed that MNOs will exit that spacing, selling off or shutting down their IoT spaces. And I was like, oh my God, why our colleague wrote this strong statement? But from the other side, I do see a lot of potential for companies like BICS, MVNOs, MVNEs, because in the end of the day, it's not about sell connectivity. It's about how to generate value-add services for our customers. And maybe it was something that our colleague has forgotten when he was writing this statement. But anyhow, today during my presentation, I will talk about BICS. I believe it's important for everyone to know a little bit more about our story, about who we are. Then I will explain the cloud model from hyperscaler perspective and from IoT connectivity perspective. So I will start with something basic, then I will naturally increase the level of the conversation. Then we will explore some cloud connectivity service provider environments, so how these two spaces can work together. After that, it's going to be a more, I would say, commercial approach. So we will show what BICS has been doing, what we are preparing for the market, and how we are differentiating ourselves in front of the competition. Feel free to send questions, as Jeremy said, during the presentation. But in the end, we will have this open Q&A. And we will spend time discussing some of these questions. I hope I can answer all of them during the session. So starting from the beginning, just for all of you be aware, BICS is a global company. We are part of Proximus Group, which is the biggest MNO in Belgium. As you guys can see, our revenue is higher than 1 billion euro. So we have been working in this space for several years. were recognized by the top analysts as, I would say, top 10 IoT connectivity players worldwide, providing not only IoT connectivity, but infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. So we have a lot of solutions. I also would like to emphasize smart BI. So we have some data analytics, fraud solutions, and etc. So in the end of the day, I would say from the telco perspective, we are quite strong offering all of these items for our customers. So supporting them in all aspects. So in terms of product on the IoT side, we have Seen for Things, we have M2M in the cloud, and we have MVNO, one stop, one shop connectivity. So basically, as I said, acting as a MVNO and MVNE for IoT. This is the first concept. I believe that all of you guys are aware about cloud computing. So this is not new in our market. So this is an old statement I got on internet, but this is quite valid after several years. Just quickly, cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient on-demand network access to shared pool of configurable computing resources, then networks, servers, storage, application, and services that can be rapidly provisionized and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. But I put here in highlight, I highlighted some, just one part of the statement, because I will use this to explain the next one. And then, as I said, we will start entering deeply in the discussion. So this cloud model is composed of 5 essential characteristics, 3 server models, and 4 deployment models. So, and here is what we will discuss now. So we need to, of course, understand the cloud model in order to provide the right solution, to combine solutions for our end customers. So it's important not to have a simplistic vision about this, but to understand what we are really doing. So from the featured perspective, so the first one is on-demand self-service. So basically, the system will be available for you whenever you want. So you don't have to have the full infrastructure or to invest this in upfront and etc. So the second one is what we call broad network access, which means different types of devices can access at the same time the service. So it could be, for example, a notebook, a cellular, an IoT device, and etc. We have the resource pooling, which means we can share the space in communities. So you can have different orgs, different people using the system at the same time. Then what we call wrapped elasticity. I believe this is one of the most important concepts of the cloud computing. So basically, you can increase in or increase out or decrease the usability according to your needs. And more important than that, we need to measure, because when you are using a pay as you grow service, it's extremely important to have a full management about what we are doing. Then, in terms of service models, especially on the telco side, and this is what BICS has been doing, we have 3 types of service models. So the first one is what we call infrastructure as a service. So in the end of the day, the application itself is not important for the provider. So because we are selling the infrastructure and they can develop whenever they want or they wish. Then we have what we call platform as a service. So basically, part of the solution is ready to go. So the customer can have the infrastructure and a platform to help them in the development phase. And then we have the software as a service, which means you will have the full stack application to develop what you need. And then we have some deployment models. So there is the possibility to run in a private cloud. So basically, it's going to be something dedicated for you. Then we have the public cloud. So in the end of the day, it's the as the words say, it's shared with everyone. We have the community cloud. So, for example, different orgs, different people, but with the same target. So, I would say universities and etc. And we have hybrid cloud, which is a mix of private and public network. So, understanding this, I will enter in something more tech. I brought two IoT reference models. So on the left side, you can see a graph from Gartner showing the MVNE infrastructure. And on the right side, you guys can see an IoT reference model from a hyperscaler perspective. And here we will start enter, as I said, in something a little bit more tech. I wanna explain in details for you guys, the benefits of using this type of architecture, because when we are talking about IoT in general, so there are some studies saying, okay, we have different layers, but in the end of the day, to put this in a short, I would say we have four big ones. So the first one is what we call devices, which could be sensors. It could be cellular or non-cellular devices. It could be actuators and etc. So it's the equipment itself running in a WAN, in a LAN. It could be a gateway and etc. Right. Then we have the second layer, especially for cellular network, cellular devices, which we call connectivity service providers. So we need to manage the network. We need to, in a certain way, give access to these devices to an external environment. Then we have a third layer, which several people call this as a middleware. In this big layer, we have what we call connectivity management, which is fully linked to the connectivity service provider, because at the end of the day, we are getting data from the SIM card itself. Then we have the message routing. So this is a roaming concept, because in the end of the day, you need to deal with different networks and etc. This is again part of our core business as well. Then we have the device management. So if you guys see these graphs, I believe it's quite clear. I will pass after in each of these boxes, but the device management again is related to the device itself. So device provisioning, device data transacting, but again, it's 100% focused on the device. Then we have the data management. Okay, so different protocols. It's sometimes it could be a mess to manage it. There are some actions or standardizations happening, but in the end of the day, you can have TCP/IP, you can have UDP, you can have MQTT, low white M2M. There are always a lot of things happening. Then we have the analytics part. We are receiving data, we are treating data. But in the end of the day, we need to generate some insights for customers. And the last one, just to finalize this part, we have the application layer. So then, in general, enterprise or the developers for enterprises, they will, define their application based on their needs and etc. But analyzing, the right side of the graph. So I brought this because, from me, this is a hyperscaler vision about IoT. So you can have the edge device, which is in the end the devices, and the IoT gateway. And at this moment, you need to send data from an external environment to a platform. So in a certain way, we can call this as client. And on the other side, on the platform side, we need to have the brokers. Okay, so we need to receive this data. And this is the reason why you guys can see device gateway services. So for example, from Azure, there are some systems like IoT Hub, IoT Central, receiving the data. On the left side, just because I had forgotten to say, you can use, for example, Azure Sphere, Azure IoT, device SDK, and etc. But going back to the platform side, again, there is another concept in terms of insight. So we need to provisionize the data. We need to process the data. And there are three ways to do that. So what we call hot pet, warm pet, and cold pet. Okay, so in the end of the day, it's the possibility to analyze data in real time or near to real time. The second one, which is the warm part, is the ability to analyze data that can accommodate, I would say, longer delays for more detailed processing. So data lakes, for example. And then the last one is what we call perform batch processing. That again, you can receive a batch of info and then process this in a certain way. And then on the enterprise side, again, we are receiving the data treated and then distributing for our needs, generating insights and etc. But the curiosity here is, and you guys for sure will agree with me, you cannot see a connectivity management platform in this graph. So my question is why? Because we are a connectivity provide player. We are find ways to work with these guys. And when we see the architectures, the CMPs are not there. So then Jeremy will share with you guys a quick a question, because I'd like you to understand your thoughts about that.
Yeah, good idea. Good time for it. Let's go to the second poll. So if you go to the bottom of the screen, if you didn't do this already, you'll find a more button and click on that. It'll bring up polls. And there you have the second poll, which is as follows. We'd like to know what you think are the capabilities that are most needed in IoT. Is it having the ability to manage all devices through a single platform? Is it securing the solution end to end? Or is it data management and governance? So please submit your vote. Is it having the ability to manage all devices through a single platform, securing the solution end to end, or data management and governance? And we're getting a fairly strong lead here for having the ability to manage all devices through a single platform, showing around the 49-50% mark. And it's evolving as more and more are answering, but something around 36% are saying securing the end-to-end solution. Gabriel, your thoughts on that?
Okay, so well, the first thing that I'm glad to see so many answers, which means the people are following the presentation. So thank you very much, guys, to interact. So according to our friends from Transforma Insight, indeed, the number one is having the ability to manage all devices through a single platform. So 50% of our audience said or answered this. So I'm glad to see. So the second one, indeed, securing the end-to-end solution. And then the last one is data management and governance. Just one thing, I didn't put this in the poll for a single reason, but you guys can see that having the solution come with connectivity built in. So this is the number 3. And I will show in the next slide why I decided to not put in the poll. But anyhow, you guys are right. So one of the I would say main targets here, and again, I got this information from Transforma Insight. Companies could save about 28% of IoT connectivity costs using hyperscalers. So you can, for example, improve your supply chain efficient. You can have a low touch provisioning. You can have a different commercial approach. So there are many ways. I can put the link after in the chat so
That'd be
everyone
good.
can see this report. But then I will explain the model considering these factories or adding a CMP. So for who don't know, CMP means connectivity management platform. So as I said, uh, the CMP is in charge to manage everything related to the SIM card. So you can, for example, provisionize a SIM card. You can set up APN, VPN, or any type of security stuff. The I would say the SIM management, the tariff. So there are a lot of things you can do in the platform. But again, as our main target of today is to show how you can combine or how you can have one single solution, or at least all products fully integrated. I highlighted 3 products from BICS that can help customers to do that. So as probably you guys know, BICS has a partnership with all hyperscalers. So I in the beginning of the presentation, I highlighted Microsoft, but the same can be applied for AWS. So Google is not more in the IoT game, but Alibaba and others are. But I would say these 2 are the leaders in the market. So the first thing I would say is what we call SFT Cloud Connector. SFT means Sing for Things, which is one of our products. Here, what we are doing is the ability to have a full interaction between the device and external platform. Okay, so in a short, there are some protocols running on the left side, like TCP/IP, UDP, COP, low-IT M2M. So BICS has an SDK that can translate this data and feed the platform. So this it's important to highlight this will be launched during the next weeks. So just be you guys can follow what we are doing. But this is something extremely excited that we are close to launch. Then the second one is what we call API and data stream. So it's a way to have interactions between an IoT platform and our CMP. So basically, BICS has more than 200 APIs available for this integration. But we also have what we call a data stream. So in the data stream side, there are 4 big factors. So customers can see network events, they can see usage, they can see SAM events. So it's like a SIM card life cycle. So if the SIM card is activated or not. And for resellers, we have what we call account events. So they can follow their end customer activities with some real-time insights, inputs. And then the last one, so it's what we call Sing for Things connectivity twin. So this is, from my point of view, something extremely interesting. It's because now we are providing to customers the possibility to see our CMP in their system. So you can replicate what we have on the CMP side in your system. So this is the reason why we are calling this connectivity twin. It's the possibility, again, to replicate what is happening in one system in another one. So it's this product is ready to go. So if you guys want to test, if you guys want to use, just let our sales guys know, and it's going to be a pleasure to interact with all of you. Okay, now, as I said, it's going to be a little bit more commercial. So it's an overview about what we have as a company, and some items will be explored again, like the connectivity twin, IoT safe, and etc. Here you guys can see our products we have, so you can easily buy some of our solutions in the hyperscaler marketplaces. So it's there. You just need to go to their website, download, and then it will start working. We have the IoT Cloud connected. As I said, we are ready to go. We are fully integrated with all of them. We have the IoT Safe, which is something I would say new in the market. So it's a root of trust to load and manage IoT keys to do the authentication. We have the IoT connectivity twin, as I said. I will show more details in the next slide. And the last one that is not part of this presentation, but for sure, if you guys have questions, curiosity, we can explore later is the mobile private network. So we have solutions for MPNs. So we are running the same for things in around the world in several projects, and feel free to ask questions about that to us. Okay, connectivity twin. So basically, as I said, it's the possibility to replicate one system in another one. The main target for us, it's important to say that connectivity itself, the data that you can see, it's quite similar independently of the vertical. So I would say that we are agnostic and common for our verticals or application. So having this, it's like one horizontal approach that can be used in our segments. But the point here is having this in your system, you can start to get insights, and this is the reason why we have another product called Smart BI, which helps you to provide and to get insights through analytic systems, machine learning, and etc. But the idea here is that you can customize the solution. So it's like you will have everything running in your system, which means you can customize based on your needs. And it's fully, in terms of visibility and etc. You can create your own dashboard. You can, build based on, your styles or what your company needs to support your end customer better. Okay, just to highlight the last thing about the connectivity twin. It's important to emphasize that we can replicate scene performance in virtual conditions. So I have mine, sorry, because I was tracking my time. So if you guys heard something, it was due to this. The connectivity twin is fully integrated with Azure Digital Twin and AWS Twin Makers. Okay, so ready to go again. And the good part is that guys can test easily this solution. So I would say in one day you can have everything running in your system. So you don't need to spend. It's like a plug and play solution. You don't need to spend a lot of time developing and etc. From the security stuff, there is a new concept called IoT safe. So BICS has been investing a lot on it. Of course, security is a top priority for the company. So the interesting fact or the interesting facts I would like to highlight here. So we have a partnership with Thales on it. So we are providing not only physical SIM card, but embedded SIM, and we are working quite close to the integrated SIM companies in order to provide this. BICS has your global APX, and as I said, as we are MVNE, we own the P gateway and the CMP infrastructure. So this is running in some regions around the world. And then we have the Cloud Connect to facilitate the communication between one site to another one. But going back to the IoT safe, there are four items I'd like to highlight. So the first one is the idea here is to have end-to-end security application. Okay, so high security, so you can have a root of trust, which is a certificate running on the module side and on the server side on the platform. So this is fully standardized. Then we have what we call data transfer protection. So you can prevent that the data transfer will happen properly, avoiding cyber attacks and etc. Because this is fully encrypted. And then the third one is what we call remote management. So you can ensure that the information from one site to another one will happen and no one will intercept. But you also have the possibility to configure, of course, having the right keys. You have the ability to configure and to manage this device remotely. And the last one is what we call life cycle management, which means this is a zero-touch provisioning system. Okay, so the applet and the platform are again ready to go. So our modules in the market have these solutions, the applet integrated, and on the server side, systems are again ready to go. And now you have this running in the SIM card itself. And the last one, I will jump this one because it's quite similar about what I had explained it, and I want to spend time in the Smart BI platform, which is something new for the market as well. So one of the trends we understand at BICS is that more data you have, more insights obviously you can extract, and you need to extract. But more than that, you need to have control of this data. So at this point, BICS has developed the Smart BI platform in 2020, and we are now improving our solution to have integrations, providing better insights to customers. So the first one is what we call smart monitoring and alerts. So basically, you can track behavior patterns like data usage irregularities and send inputs to the administrator in real time. So if something is happening, the end customer can act immediately. So the second one is what we call smart track and trace. It's like an historian. So you can have and you can manage what happened in your system over the last 30 days. The third one is what we call smart profiling. So it's the ability to define and monitor these partners, these patterns. I'm sorry. So you have the ability to protect your system against some anomalous behaviors and etc. And the last one is what we call smart key away. So you can set targets, you can set KPIs, and using machine learning, you can compare one scenario to another one. So in the end of the day, as I said, connectivity is just a part of the business. Our target, our business is to provide more for customers, is to provide a real value add services, because in the end of the day, connectivity is not something so simple. And having the ability to manage, having an end-to-end security device and integrations, of course, will make customers more comfortable to use solutions like what we have. So I believe that's all for today from my side. So we are on time. We have an extra 15 minutes to answer questions. So Jeremy, maybe I will pass the ball to you
Thank you.
so we can
Yeah,
take a look
brilliantly,
into.
brilliantly managed on time. Thank you so much. Makes my job a whole lot easier. Gabriel, we've got a number of questions in, really good number, and there's more coming in all the time. If you have a question that you'd like to submit, it's not too late. Send it to us now. We'll get to as many as we can in the time available. Roberto asks this, Gabriel, related to the data marketplace on the platform side. Are you envisioning IoT related data being exposed to other players or developers or third parties to pay for its consumption? He says, for example, in artificial intelligence or machine learning data sets, raw data, etc. It's a big topic, and I know you could talk for hours on it, but what would you say in a couple of minutes maximum, maybe a minute?
Okay, just could you repeat the beginning of the question?
Sure.
Because I missed it.
No, good, fair enough. Related to the data marketplace on the platform side, Roberto asks, are you envisioning IoT related data being exposed to other players or developers or third parties to pay for its consumption, in AI, machine learning data sets or raw data?
Okay, that's a trick question, huh? Because it's like who owns the data. Of course, you need to manage the data properly. So, I mean, the enterprise own their own data. I would say our target as an IoT connectivity provider is to make sure the data from one side to another one will not be interfered. I mean, no one will get this data when you are transacting it. But from the data analytics perspective, of course, you need to have it. So this is the future. This is what companies are looking for, because with this you can get better insights and etc.
Okay. Ivan asks this, Gabriel, is all that smart intelligence coming from artificial intelligence and machine learning real time or from data analysis? Is the data analyzed at the edge or cloud?
There are two possibilities. In our case, we are analyzing the data in, I would say, on premises, because we have our own, let's say, data center in different regions and etc. But it could be in the cloud. So on the edge side, it's possible, but then it's a different business and etc. But the answer is yes, in both scenarios you can have it.
There's more of a connectivity style question here. Take this if you can. The questioner asks, what split do you see in the various technologies? 5G, narrowband IoT, LoRaWAN, LPWAN, MyOT, etc.
What split do you see in the various technologies? What exactly you mean? Because in the end of the day, it's about the communication. I mean, the
I
type of.
think they're asking what's likely to win out. It's obviously horses for courses, but
Yeah, it depends on the application. I cannot answer this because it's there are several possibilities. There are different markets. There are different needs and etc. I would say in IoT, 5G it's something that can become big. But nowadays, 4G with narrowband IoT, Cat-M, LT1, and etc. are the top technologies. But we also know that in several countries, 2G and 3G still active. So It depends on the market, on the vertical. So there are a lot of factors
A lot of
affecting
factors.
this.
Christian is showing that he's been listening carefully. He's asking, what are your thoughts on the statement that you shared earlier, Gabriel? Quote, MNOs will be leaving the IoT connectivity business, unquote.
That's a good one because it was a surprise for me when I read this. So if you are providing only connectivity, and if you are keep doing that, yes, you are. I would say that you are that. The point is, you need, as I show it during my presentation, we need to add value for customers and connectivity be part of the offer. So this is what we are pursuing. If they are out, MVNOs and MVNEs are in. So it seems we have a good opportunity to grow.
Yeah,
And this market is big enough to support all of us.
one of these, we had one of these questions that was submitted earlier on registration by one of our registrants. What can traditional telcos do to take advantage of these new IoT revenue opportunities? I know you touched on this, but would you mind explaining that a little bit more?
Yeah, the point here is telcos need to understand customer needs. So what the developers are looking for, because in the end of the day, they are in charge to define architectures and etc. And as I show it, I will go back to this slide. So when you see the hyperscalers vision, the connectivity is not included. So it's our job to make sure that they need us integrating systems and etc. So it's important to understand this carefully.
Yeah. Questioner asks, what are some of the industry specific use cases that can be unlocked through IoT? That's an enormous question, and we don't have time to go into it in great detail. What would you say to that?
Yeah. Currently, one of the markets that are pushing us heavily is healthcare. So, there are 6 billion people in the world. People are, in the end of the day, using any type of remote equipments to see how their body is reacting in some cases and etc. So you are generating a lot of data and etc. So in different regions, in different countries, in some moment in remote locations and etc. So the point here is, okay, having this huge amount of data, how can we prepare and share the right insights to them? So I would say healthcare is a good example, but for sure this can be applied in all other markets.
That's really helpful because a number of questioners have asked about healthcare and pharmaceuticals. I should expand. Questioner says, I'm working with a legacy IoT solution. How can I re-engineer it to provide end-to-end security?
I would say you guys can contact our sales guys after, and it will be a pleasure to support you. But there are several possibilities, and it will be a pleasure again to help you on it.
Okay. Time for one last question, which is this. And I think this reflects a number of people talking about recruitment. So I'm going to ask this one question. We're having trouble finding people with the right data science skills to recruit. How should we go about it?
Wow. It's true. It's not easy to find people with these skills. That's a good question, yeah? And I don't know the answer. In the end of the day, we need, as big companies, we need to invest in community programs, making sure that the new engineers, data science, and etc. Guys will be ready to act in this market and etc. But currently, of course, we need to train some people. We need to explain deeply what is happening In the end of the day, this is a new technology. We need to train people, and then for sure the results will appear. But I would say companies must invest in trainings to make sure that the professionals will be ready to work on this type of technology.
It's a shared responsibility. We've just got time for one last question. I'm going to squeeze this in, even if it gets me into trouble. Gabriel, questioner says, how can MVNOs, virtual network operators, fully utilize the 5G technology as an offering to end customers, both public and government? How can MVNOs fully utilize the 5G technology offering to the end customers?
I would say that's a huge answer. I would say that we can discuss later this topic. I will put my email in the chat, so it's going to be a pleasure to discuss these items. I believe there are 2 or 3 questions that I didn't reply, but again, you guys can reach out to me, and then we can have a dedicated session for this.
Yeah. Well, anyone with additional questions can either reach you via BICS or via IoT Now, or I'm sure via LinkedIn.
That's correct.
Great. Gabriel, thank you so much for taking all the questions and for such an informative talk. Inevitably, these things have to end. We're out of time already. So please, everyone, don't forget to bookmark our website. You'll find it at iot-now.com. And from tomorrow, you can stream this discussion from there. So you'll get it at your leisure. So it just remains for me to say a big thank you to our speaker, Gabriel Salvate from BICS. Thanks, Gabriel.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you very much, everyone. So again, feel free to reach out to me and my colleagues. So we are ready to support all of you. Again, thank you very much and have a great day.
Yeah, it's been lovely to have so many. We've had hundreds of you joining us from around the world. So most of all, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you for joining us wherever you are. Until the next time, bye for now.